Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Valentine, and once again we have the lovely Louise Bundy. She's going to be sitting in with me in this version of Asaph Cafe, and we're in outer space.
I love it.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I like that backdrop, the planet Saturn.
Definitely.
This is pretty cool. And we'll call this our Valentine Day show too, so we can have a Valentine in space.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, and I know the perfect song to start off with. I've been kind of working on it. Let me, hold on. You recognize this song?
I do. I don't know the name of it though.
It's from the movie Against All Odds. Phil Collins. Sorry.
Take a look at me now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry for that little stumble. I'm still working on that.
Oh, sure.
That's one of the newer songs that I decided to put in my repertoire.
Nice.
Yes, from the movie Against All Odds.
Mhm.
That was quite a movie. Did you see that
No,
movie?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of old now, but
Yeah.
yeah, Phil Collins is the singer there.
Yeah, I remember
She's been in concert.
hearing him sing it on the radio, on
Uh-huh.
record, but I've never seen that movie.
There's some new stuff some new material I've been working on here.
Good.
And here's another one. You recognize it?
So excited.
Yeah. Reunited.
Reunited, that's right.
Peaches and Herb.
That's right, reunited.
I'm sorry. I still learning these.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm still working
Oh,
bugs out on those
sure.
two songs, but
Nice. I haven't heard that in a long time.
yeah, I just wanted to just do some more fresh,
Yeah.
newer stuff.
Yeah.
Try to get some soul music into my repertoire.
There you
That's kind of hard to do because some of that stuff is so rhythmic. you know?
Exactly.
It's like when I do Painted Black, it has that distinctive melody.
Right.
And some of these soul songs, like Boys to Men and the rest of them,
Oh, right.
there's a lot of like rhythmic stuff. It's not like a melody that goes
Right,
through,
exactly.
or Luther Vandross, any of those,
yeah.
and it's just really hard to try to figure out how to play those.
Yeah, I bet it would be.
So
Well, you might do some John Legend or something like that, which is a little softer.
yeah, I have to listen to it and make sure. See, it has to have a melody, a
Right.
distinctive melody,
Exactly.
so that when you're doing like a solo piano or something, it'll just go all the way through.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Those are hard. Those are
Mm.
challenging.
yeah, so I'm working on new stuff. I can't
Good.
believe I stumbled on my own show. Oh well,
hey, it's all right.
but I know.
It's a
Hey,
casual show,
yeah, impromptu. It does always have to be perfect.
No, of course not.
But yeah, I've been working on new material, and I've been working on some classical pieces too
Oh, good.
lately.
Good.
I'm finally concentrating on that nocturne in E flat.
Oh, Chopin?
Yeah, I won't do the whole thing.
Okay.
do it now.
Very nice, yes.
Yeah, I'm working on that and just some other stuff too.
Mhm.
And you know, like anything else, you just do it over and over enough times
Of course.
until you get really, really used to it.
Mhm.
And I just determined I wanted to increase my repertoire.
Sure. I've always had trouble though on the piano with waltzes. For
Uh-huh.
some reason, to keep the left hand doing the 3/4 times.
You know
difficult for
what
me.
helps me, like, let's get back to that nocturne. When I practice it, I might just take the left hand and do something like this.
Mhm.
You know, just over and over. So that I can see with my mind's eye where it's going. Maybe that might help if you try that. Just the left
Maybe.
hand by itself, really, really slow,
Yeah.
like a zillion
Yeah,
times.
exactly. Yeah, I think
It's
just a
nice
matter
like
of-
that too when you're just breaking it apart. You know?
Right. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of familiarity, you know.
Mhm. See, and that's easier to do it that way. And that just sounds nice all by itself. See, like that.
It does, because you can hear the melody actually in the left hand
Mhm.
alone.
Right. Speaking of the nocturne, they just posted Liberace's Valentine special that he did in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And Lola Falana and Sandy Duncan
Oh
were
my goodness.
they were the stars of
Wow,
that.
what a combination.
Yeah, and it was fun because they had the symphony orchestra here in the backdrop, and then there were two grand pianos facing each other,
Oh.
and Sandy Duncan was sitting on one side and Lola Falana was sitting on the other. And of course, they're not really piano players,
Right.
but they had it memorized where they knew where to come in. They hit a certain note
Ah.
when the band was playing,
Uh-huh.
even though they might do something like this, you know, that would fit with the song.
Right.
And it was just such a cute little,
Oh,
it just the way it turned out, it sounded like they were real piano players. And it was just a cute little
That's great.
fun thing to
That's
watch.
great, I bet.
Because I haven't seen Sandy Duncan in a long time.
No.
I don't even think people remember her.
I don't know.
You know, the younger generation.
Yeah, no, probably not.
But I used to watch Sandy Duncan on TV a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was always fun watching her do her
Oh,
dance
yeah.
steps.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
had some television shows too, I believe.
I think so, but I can't remember.
She had some sort of a, didn't she have a sitcom?
I thought so,
I can't
but
remember the name of
I
it,
don't
but
know. I just remember her from Broadway. You know,
Yeah.
she's done so much Broadway.
yeah, I think that's what should be best remembered.
Yeah.
And Lola Falana was really good at dancing. Wasn't
Right.
she one of Bill Cosby's dancers on the Bill Cosby Show?
I don't
The
know.
variety show?
I don't know. I
And,
know that Sammy Davis introduced her,
hmm.
but I don't know. I've seen her on a lot of shows as a guest, but I don't know if she was on a regular show.
And she did some TV shows, I believe, too. Valentine's. I do all these love songs.
Sure.
I never get tired of this song either.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Burt Bacharach was so
Yeah.
good. He was so good.
I got to play for Valentine's this year
Oh, where?
over at the Patty Creek Market.
Nice.
The owner contacted me and sent me an email and asked me to play for him that
Oh,
day.
good.
And it was fun
I bet
too.
it was.
Might as well do it all the way through. Now I'll talk about Bert in a moment.
Yeah.
With that backdrop, this is such a perfect song. It's just such an intimate romantic, you know. On those other songs, when I get comfortable like with this one, it'll be easier to play.
Of course.
Bert Bacharach
Mm-hmm.
and the conclusion. probably just need Herb Albert here, you know,
Oh, yeah.
play his trumpet, and
Yeah.
it'll be perfect. And the final conclusion. But anyway, getting back to that Liberace Valentine special, that was pretty cool.
I bet.
Seeing, you know, because when Liberace introduced both of them, they both came out together, and it was cool. And everybody's like,
Oh, of course.
and they looked really elegant, and you know, like they both ladies like usually do. And they were facing each other when they were playing the piano. It's just the same note.
Oh, that's funny.
It was cute.
Yeah, I bet.
And then Liberace by himself did the entire Nocturne in E flat,
Oh, wow.
his version. And
Wow.
oh gosh, it was just so nice.
Yeah, well, he was an amazing pianist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. And what was interesting about that was there's a song called The Revolutionary. I don't know if you know that song. It goes something like this. I'm gonna have to improvise my way. You ever heard that?
Oh, yes. That's quite.
Well, I've never practiced it, but it has that striking chord, you
Yeah.
know.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, the point I'm trying to make is he did that
Oh.
at the very beginning
Wow.
first. He just struck that chord and went all down whatever those
Oh,
notes
yeah.
are. And then he was doing the first part of that song, and instead of doing this part, when he got to that part, he turned it into My Funny Valentine,
Oh.
using the left hand with that,
Oh,
the run, yeah,
Oh,
you
my
know, he was
goodness.
doing the run with that song.
Wow.
But instead of doing this part, it was My Funny Valentine,
wow.
and it fit.
I bet.
And then he got about, I don't know, I'd say less than halfway through that song before it turned into the Nocturne,
Oh.
the Nocturne in E flat. Because technically they're both in the same keys.
I see.
So, I mean, the first one is in a minor key, and the Nocturne's in a major key, but they're
Okay.
both in the same,
Oh.
technically the same family key,
Oh,
if that
okay.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
So he was able to get it from the minor sound to the major sound and
Wow.
turn it into the Nocturne, this one right here.
Oh, my.
It was just such a beautiful,
Yeah.
the whole song probably took about almost 10 minutes.
I bet.
You know, it was kind of a long,
Right. Like a medley.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just beautiful.
Oh, I bet. My goodness. Very
Because
cool.
when I first heard that, I heard that chord, I thought, oh, is this man gonna play that song all the way through? Which he probably could have
Of
easily,
course, of
but
course.
no, it was a Valentine thing.
Wow.
And then they had like this heart on the screen, and you can see his image playing the piano,
Wow.
the candelabra. It was just so cool,
I bet.
just so cool doing that.
That's great.
I'll have to send that to you if I can find it, if it's still up. And of course it was Valentine. They said it was a Valentine special, so whoever posted that, that's what they posted.
Wow.
And then of course with Sandy Duncan and Lola Falana, it was just perfect. Just a perfect Valentine show.
That's terrific.
Well, somebody has a great imagination if you think about it. You know, somebody had to plan that, choreograph that.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody had to have the, what do you call the rehearsal for Sandy Duncan and Lola Falana to
Right.
know when to come in
Exactly.
and stuff like
Oh,
that.
sure.
So at the finished product was perfect. It came in, it was just perfect.
That's great.
And it sounded like both of them were playing, which they were a
Yeah.
tiny bit,
Yeah.
with a little help. So, but it was fun.
Yes, I bet, yeah.
It was so fun. If I find it, I'll send that to you if I can find it, if it's
Okay.
still up. They must have had it, I don't know, posted maybe a week ago by now, leading up to
Right.
Valentine's Day.
Right. Nice.
So, and I went to a party, a Valentine's party. My friend Valerie, I think you've met
I
her.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, she was the flower girl.
Oh, right. Right.
Well, they had a thing where they had like these like hors d'oeuvres and stuff at her house, and they were making like Valentine cards and stuff, just on a table. You just take a little heart, stick it on a piece of paper with glue, and you know, it's like it was just so fun.
I
Just,
bet. I bet.
and I was sitting there watching television because that was like a girly thing. Like I don't want to make cards, so I let the girls do their thing. I wound up doing some cooking for them, which was
Oh,
fun.
good. Sure.
It was just a fun little.
It's just nice. It's a nice day for friends to get together.
That's all it was just friends
Yeah.
getting together. I was the only guy there, but
Oh, but still, that's all right.
yeah,
Guys
they're,
would
they're
say
like
that's pretty
sisters.
cool.
Yeah, I know. They're like sisters, like family.
Right.
Kind of like when I hang out with you, so.
Sure.
Yeah. And it was fun. It was just so fun. And then they were putting all the jams on, the jams of the past.
Ah.
We're talking about those soulful
Right.
jams. Like I
Right.
said, the Boys to Men,
Sure.
and they even played that, what's that song? Curtis Mayfield, I think is his name, Mrs. Jones.
Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't Curtis Mayfield, but I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
they got a thing going
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Yikes.
I know.
Yeah, let's see, I have to think my way, see if I can do that.
Mhm.
Something like that. I don't know how to play that song, but
Yeah,
anyway, they were playing all those fun jams.
Mhm.
Everything from Boys to Men to you name it.
right. That's great.
Peaches and Herb, and
Yeah.
that's where I got the idea to start
Ah.
getting some new, fresh material.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even make music like that anymore.
No, they don't.
As far as that caliber,
I
I
know.
don't think. James Ingram, all the rest.
Yeah. Oh, and Luther Vandross was.
So see,
Yeah.
that would be kind of cool if I could develop a kind of a, what do you call it, soul music repertoire.
Yeah.
So maybe a few months from now, I'll be able
Sure.
to have it all planned and figure it out.
I'm sure.
So, but it was such a fun
Mhm.
Valentine's Day. What did you do for Valentine's?
I worked.
Oh, you had to work that day?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah.
I know, you have to work.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I like this song so much. I made $70
Oh,
for Valentine's Day.
good deal.
Yeah, and I think I told you, the money that I made for Christmas, I took and paid all of my rent in advance,
Mhm.
which was hard to do because I really wanted to get stupid at the
Oh,
mall.
I know.
I mean,
You
I
got-
wanted to go to that mall so bad. I made $700.
That's wonderful.
And so that's why I wanted to get crazy.
I understand.
But I decided, no, I better pay the rent.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And so I paid like something like 3 or 4 months in advance,
Good.
just my portion of the rent and everything. I just went to that rental office, slapped all that money on that table. That rental lady looked at me, she had this big grin on her face.
Yeah, that's great.
You're gonna pay that much in advance? I said, yeah. So she put it into the system.
Good.
So I paid, I think it was like 4 or 5 months in advance.
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course I was flat broke again, but then with the money I made just as Valentine's, now I can at least get a few little fun
There
days.
you go.
Maybe I won't get that flat screen TV that I wanted, but I thought about it after I walked out of that rental office, and I thought, that might have been a wise thing to do, to pay in advance.
Oh, definitely.
Because then that way, I have time to build up to make more money if I
Sure.
have to.
Sure.
And I don't have to be burdened about, where am I gonna get this?
Exactly, exactly.
And that took discipline.
Yeah, yeah, but it's important, business before pleasure, always.
I know, I realize that, but when I say I wanted to get stupid, I really, because I was like, I wanted to spend like at least 300 or 400 at that mall,
I know, but no.
just getting stuff.
I know, it's very tempting, but
Yeah.
you did the wise thing.
It took everything in me to keep from doing
I'm
that.
sure.
I mean, I just was like,
Oh, I know.
going like this.
On my, I one of my credit cards almost paid off, and it's like, oh, now I can go and buy it. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
no,
no,
Just
no,
leave it
this
alone
is-
and
yeah.
put that money towards getting the other two down,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's important.
I got a little bit saved, but not much from all that paying in advance like
Right.
that. But it just was like a relaxing feeling to me.
Yeah, of course.
And I didn't realize that until after I walked out of there and processed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you were secure. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm good for about 4 months
Yeah,
now. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, this is a new year. I got
Yeah.
4 months and
There
just,
you go.
I'm good to go.
Sure. That's
So
the way to do it.
maybe I'll at least treat myself to a Chinese dinner with that $70, and probably save the rest.
Yeah, that's all right. Saving's good.
Yes, that's true. So that's what I did. And I didn't take any time debating on that. I
Yeah.
acted swiftly when I
Good.
made that
Good, because you
decision.
might have changed your mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I did.
good.
I got enough stuff at home anyway, don't you think? You see my
I
place.
know.
It would have been nice to get like a nice little blender, and just all this, just this
Little
stuff,
stuff,
all that little stuff that just adds up real fast.
It does. Yeah, well, I'm like that with pennies. I have a pretty good size charge card allowance on my pennies card, but I rarely get it over $100. Because it's nice to have. It's nice to have the credit there when you need it.
Right.
I don't use it, just for frivolous stuff. There's all kinds of things I like clothes, shoes, whatever, but
Right.
I just don't.
But anyway, getting back to Valentine's Day, I'm going to try to increase my soul music repertoire this
I think
year.
it's a good idea.
And I'm going to work on some of those Chopin pieces.
Yeah, they're
Things
so
like
good.
that.
Chopin's wonderful for ballet.
Yeah. Oh,
Wonderful.
really?
Absolutely wonderful, yeah.
Wow. You
Yeah.
talking about the nocturnes and all
Yeah,
that? Or?
definitely. Etudes and after all of them. His pieces are just so
That's right. That does
simple.
make sense because when they do that on figure skating, every once in a while, there's always this one Asian person or Russian person or somebody, and they're like doing all these. What do you call I don't know what they call quads or whatever they call it. They're just like spinning around four times,
Right.
And they got like Chopin's music in the background. It just gives it that.
It is. It's very, very suited
Beautiful.
for movement, yeah.
They sure getting technical with the figure skating now.
Oh.
Yeah, I think there's a move. They actually spin around 4 times now, very quickly.
Wow, I've heard of triple axels and triple Lutzes, but.
No, they've got a quad now, they call it.
Wow.
What's his name? Scott Hamilton is the announcer. He was talking about that.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just getting more and more complex and trickier.
Yeah.
And of course, these kids are getting younger.
Yeah.
So I guess when you're like 14, you can spin around like 4 times.
Exactly.
You get like 22. I don't think you're going to be doing that.
I know.
Well, not by skating standards.
I know, it's hard. Everybody thinks, it's the same way in any kind of athletics, with sports or dance or whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah. No, I think that's the time to enjoy. That's when you're like really young.
Yeah, 18 to 25, really. It's the best age span, and then it gets a little harder.
Yeah. But not all the figure skaters have done the 4 spin, but I've seen it done 1 or 2 times.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and they land clean.
Yeah.
They only do it like 1 time the whole.
Yeah.
Because I think that would take a lot out of you if you spin around 4 times,
No
like 2 or 3
kidding.
times.
No
And of course the judges go ape over it. 10, 10, 10, 10, or however I don't know how their scoring system is, but
yeah. I agree.
You master that and do that, you're probably going to get the gold medal or something like that, or first place or something.
Really? Wow.
Makes you wonder how often they have to practice,
Oh, I'm sure they practice every day.
to do that, yeah. Probably hours and hours every day. That's what I wish I could do, just get in a situation where I can just really, really put a lot of hours in and work on those, like that song. Maybe I'd be able to do that if I had the time to really just.
God, I know.
I have no idea how to play that. I mean,
No
I don't
kidding.
even know what notes are used.
I know what you mean. I've heard it so many times, but just marvel at the fact that they can memorize it for one thing and play it for another thing.
I'm just doing the octaves. I don't know what
Right.
the inner notes are.
I know.
Something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
I don't even have the music to that at home. I bet I could find it in the music store.
probably.
Yeah, it's called the Revolutionary.
Ah.
Actually, its proper name is called the Etude in C minor.
Oh, okay.
The Revolutionary.
Okay.
And I guess you could use your imagination and imagine that being a revolutionary song when you
Yeah.
hear it done.
There's a lot of anger in that left hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely hear that.
Yeah, it's just like, just the notes are just running up down the keyboard.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I bet I'd be able to do that if I just had the time to really put the hours in on something like that and practice that
Of
thing.
course. Oh, yeah.
Because I know it in my head,
Mhm.
but I don't know what notes are used or fingers to use. And I'm sure you have to memorize your fingers and all
No kidding.
to do something like that, I would imagine.
Mhm.
But it's cool when you hear that song done
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Andre Watts, do you know him?
Yeah.
The African American concert pianist?
Yes.
I saw him in a video playing that song. Oh my
Oh.
goodness. He's like sitting like this, right?
Uh-huh.
And when he struck that chord, I was like, uh-oh, I'm in for a treat. And he started going all down the keyboards. And they had the cameras watching them, fingers going, all up down that instrument. It was
Wow.
cool.
Wow.
And then everybody was going like
Oh,
this.
yeah.
They're just, I mean, he got this long, really long ovation applause. You know, when everybody going like sync like this,
Yeah.
and they don't want you to leave that stage after you finish that last note. You know, you done something right.
Oh, absolutely. It's quite an accomplishment.
Well, I'm sure I've seen interviews and read stories about him. He's put a lot of hours in.
Of course.
And he even admitted there were times where he just didn't want to put those hours in.
I'm sure.
But he knew if he was going to accomplish that, he'd have to discipline himself and
Mhm.
sit in front of that piano and just do that.
Yeah.
And it shows in his playing.
Of
Oh my
course,
goodness.
Of course.
And he talked about growing up, that's all he did was
Mhm.
practice.
Mhm.
Practice. We're talking all those etudes. He can do a lot. He did like that revolutionary one, and then
Mhm.
he did that other one that goes something like this. It has that melody that goes like this. And it has all those little runs.
Oh, I did a ballet to that, actually.
You know what went on?
I do. That is beautiful. It's one of my
Something
favorite.
like that.
I choreographed a ballet to that.
Yeah, that's called the Aeolian or something like
I
that.
forget, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and so he did the revolutionary first, and then the
Mhm.
second one was that one.
Oh.
He did both of those.
Yeah, that's
Like almost back to back.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, holy cow! Well, that's what practice will do for you. And he didn't stumble. He didn't
Of
miss a
course
beat.
not.
He just it just was so effortless.
Yeah, yeah.
I know about our cameraman. I'd be filming fingers and watching stuff too.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
classy to it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just looked really classy.
I'm sure.
What a classy concert
Yeah.
pianist that guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andre Watts, yeah.
Mhm.
And he was on an episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood one
Ah.
time. Well, you know how they always like want to encourage kids
Yeah.
to practice.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, he did that revolutionary
Oh,
song
my goodness.
all the way through.
Wow.
And Mr. Rogers sitting up there like standing there. And I'm sitting there watching that on TV like, oh wow. Mom, I need to go get a piano and start practicing. Yeah, they say those kind of songs on Chopin's work, it just takes a lot of hours.
Exactly. I saw a concert pianist at a church, actually, once in California.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat down and played every single one of Chopin's etudes,
Oh, back to
back
back?
to back.
I've heard of people being able to do that, but that
Yeah.
takes an incredible amount
Oh,
of.
yeah, and they were flawless.
Oh, I can believe
Beautiful.
that.
Every single
And he did it in
one.
chronological order?
Chronological order, yeah.
How much time did he take a break between the first and the,
No breaks, just sat down and played the whole thing.
so it probably took like about an hour by
Yeah.
the time he,
Yeah,
wow, that's amazing.
yeah, it was.
Do you remember the pianist's name?
I don't, he was a young guy, and I don't remember his name. It was a while ago, quite a while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just amazing when you see people play at that caliber.
No kidding.
But see, Liberace, he said in interviews I've seen with him, that's all he did too was practice.
Sure.
He wasn't married, he didn't have
Right.
to work at Albertsons.
Right.
I don't have anything
I
against
know.
Albertsons, but you know what I mean.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, when you get in a situation where you have to be working 10 hours a day to expect to be a concert pianist,
It's not possible.
no.
No.
But yeah, I mean, people like that, they're fortunate to get that time to practice and they don't have to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's a big thing.
And so Liberace said that when he was growing up, that's all his parents allowed him to do was practice all day.
Yeah.
And he started making money to bring money in
Oh.
with his family because they grew up like, I think in the Depression years
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
that's tough.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was tough on everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're lucky enough to get to practice like that, I would do that too if I didn't have to do whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
But see, I'm just satisfied with where I'm at. I don't claim to be no concert pianist. I think I play reasonably well. And that's that, you know, and a lot of popular music too. And I had a teacher that showed me how to take some of these popular songs and put a little flair to make
Oh,
it sound
sure.
a little classical.
Yeah,
And that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah. Most people don't even get to that level anyway.
Mhm.
But it would be nice to be able to sit down and kick out an etude. Hey, I'm bored. Let me just do this here.
I know.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll at least get to learn one.
Oh, sure.
Instead of all 12 of them
Oh,
things.
my goodness, Yeah.
That would be kind of tough to
That
do.
would.
What's our time? Yeah, we're coming along there. We still got about 15 minutes
Oh,
left.
okay.
Yeah, time just flies when you're doing this here.
Absolutely.
You know, if I had my life to live over again, I wish I could have just practiced more.
Mhm.
Well, hindsight, you know.
Oh, of course, it's always 20/20.
Yeah, you're a kid, you're like, I want to go play ball, you know,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I think that people like that concert pianist you were talking about, or Andre Watts or whatever, yeah, you just gotta really,
That's it. That's all you have to do.
yeah, you have to really, and I would imagine songs like that are very tricky to learn,
I would think so.
and they probably take a lot of time
Mhm.
to memorize. I would assume you have to use the same fingers for something like that and get it to the point where you don't have to think about it.
Right, exactly.
So I would imagine that takes time.
Definitely.
I've heard stories of some songs taking up to a year
Ooh,
to prepare.
Wow.
I'm talking about those
really long.
yeah, those songs that take like about, what, 15, 20 minutes to
Yeah.
play? Those kind of piano
Yeah.
with the orchestra in the
Oh,
background?
yeah.
And that would make sense. It'd probably take about a year
Sure.
to develop that.
Sure.
Because you'd have to memorize the song in your head, probably by just listening to it first without even playing it.
Mhm.
So that when you start to
Yeah.
put it together, it'll work.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have that kind of discipline.
That's true.
So,
Oh.
but if I had my life to live over again, I wished I would have practiced a lot more than now.
Mhm.
But I feel blessed to be able to do it to the point where I can
Of
to
course.
make some monies and
Right, right. And you have
play
the
at the
shows.
mall and
you know.
do, yeah, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But the thing with these etudes, you know, it's beautiful music, but in the spectrum of everything, I don't think you would capture everybody doing that. Like, I don't think that would work playing an etude in a, what do you call it? A cruise ship setting or a
Right.
hotel.
Right.
I just don't think that would work.
No, they would want the more popular songs. You
Yeah.
know, like standards maybe.
Yeah, like Moon River and all
Right,
those too,
right.
so.
Local Love, you know, things like that.
Stuff like that.
Mhm.
Which I guess it's okay, but
Sure.
it's just a different style of
Yeah,
playing.
it is.
And you know what's tricky about that kind of playing is you have to know song after song. Someone's gonna always come up and ask for Moon River or
Right.
Moonlight
Do you know
Sonata.
how to play this? Yeah.
And that takes a degree of study
Mhm.
and somewhat practice too.
Mhm.
Maybe not to the degree of an etude, but
Right.
you have to
You have to know
you
the
have
song.
to have a knowledge of it.
Yeah.
And they have what's called a fake book. It has literally like 1,000 songs, and all it has, how can I explain it? It'll just have the notes in the lines and spaces, just how the melody goes by
Mhm,
itself.
mhm,
And there's no bass or anything like
Oh.
that. It's just the individual note.
mhm.
And then they'll put maybe a chord symbol on top, and you have to
Ah.
develop that.
Oh,
You know, like you see a little, like a C with an M.
right.
That's all it is.
Huh.
That's how they're able to squeeze all those songs into
Oh.
a fake book is what they call it,
Mhm.
F-A-K-E.
Mhm.
And that just takes a considerable amount of practice and study too.
Right.
Because you have to develop that, because it doesn't tell you
Yeah.
how to play the song.
Ah.
All it does is writes the
Write the
melody.
melody. and
You're on your
Go
own.
from there. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you gotta like take your pinky or something and just till you get used to playing a song
Right.
and then put the chord together.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Mhm.
No tricks or nothing, just
Wow.
playing.
Wow. Mhm.
And then you develop it.
Mhm.
So that takes a considerable amount of practice
I
too.
bet so.
And then to be able to do hundreds of songs.
Yeah.
And like it's cool when you go into a piano bar setting and there's always that one piano player that seems to know every song in
Yeah,
the book as
true.
far as popular music.
Yeah, true.
And then I've noticed when they do play classical music, they'll take the romantic, like say Clair de Lune,
Mhm.
you know, stuff like that instead of the etudes or
Mhm.
Shostakovich or something
Right.
like that. See? And that would work in a piano bar setting. Like that chord, I'll stop there.
Yeah,
So that gives you an
that's a
idea.
great song.
They do all their like romantic
Oh,
stuff.
sure.
And I'm gonna work on that middle part of Clair de Lune and try to put it together. I can
Oh,
sort of do it a
That's
little bit.
difficult part.
Yeah, it goes something like this.
Mhm.
I'm gonna work on that
Sure.
too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's quite a piece, actually.
Yeah, but I think that would be more of an appropriate piece to play all the way through. It only takes about 3 or 4 minutes when you, at normal speed, when you
Right,
put it together.
right.
And I think that'd be a beautiful song
Oh, it's gorgeous.
to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think something like that, or Moonlight Sonata, would work in
Mhm.
a piano bar setting more than the etudes that are so flashy and,
Yeah.
you know, some people just, oh, that's nice, but
Yeah,
they can't see
exactly,
they're late.
exactly.
It's
And then some
impressive
people-
though.
Some people want tunes that they can maybe dance to, you know?
Yeah, and I don't think you could dance to those
No,
etudes or anything
no.
like that.
Like you want like something like "Come Fly with Me" or
Yeah.
like a Sinatra tune of some kind, you know?
Yeah,
Something that's
you
got
know,
a
something,
little
yeah,
buzz,
uh-huh.
you know?
So, oh, I know what I was gonna play since we're in outer space. You've heard me do this before. This is new in my repertoire too, this version of it. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
That's my version of it.
Lost in Space.
Yeah. Something like that. Something like that.
Oh, I can hear Dr. Smith now.
Yeah, ooh, save me. Yeah, you know, the actor that played Dr. Smith, he was quite a distinguished actor, actually.
Yes.
I think playing Dr. Smith does him an injustice in a small way.
Yeah.
Because he did like soap operas I've seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have some footage of him as a real young man
Oh.
doing soap operas and, you know, serious acting.
Mhm.
And he was pretty good.
I'm sure.
But when you look at it now, because of Lost in Space, it's like, hey, that's Dr. Smith, you know? It's like
Yeah.
that one little character that he created
Yeah,
seems to overshadow his work. That happens with a lot of
that's true.
actors.
Yeah, they get typecast.
Yeah. And in his autobiography, they have the A&E biography. They've
Mhm.
got that posted on his entire career, his upbringing. Yeah, his family was not in support of him being an actor.
Oh.
No, they were opposed to him being an actor.
It
They
happens
wanted,
a lot.
I know, I mean, he really got opposition from his family, from according to his documentary.
Well, it's supposed to be too decadent for upstanding people. You
Well,
know?
yeah, I think he did come from a pretty upstanding
Yeah.
family in real life. And he decided to pursue that. He left his family and went, and it worked for him.
Mhm.
You know, and you should see those early works. They were very, very good. So by the time he got to Lost in Space, it just.
Oh.
And you know, remember those early episodes of Lost in Space? How serious he was.
Yeah, he was much more sinister.
Yeah. In his documentary interview, he didn't think that the audience would accept a sinister character for the entire series.
Right, right.
So that's how come that character started changing from
Mhm.
sinister to cowardly.
Right, right.
And it may have worked, but I think I would have kept him sinister
I
myself.
think a little bit more so, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, because it was always hard for me to watch this character hiding behind the children because he was afraid of
Yeah,
or passing out.
right. And
Things
I
like
also
that.
wondered why the rest of the crew, like why John Robinson, for example, kept relying on him to do certain things when they knew how flaky he was.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I
it's
guess
like,
that
why would
was
you trust
just.
this person to do that, you know?
I guess whoever the writers were, that's probably what they were thinking at the time.
Yeah.
But that was the actor that played Dr. Smith. That was his idea to go from sinister to cowardly.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, that was his idea.
yeah. Well, I suppose it did work. I mean, they were on for quite a while.
Yeah, a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
So, but you know, again, you and I talked about this before. The rest of the actors, when they look back now, their legacy, they wish they'd have kept that more serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Lost in Space is still a fun show to watch.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of silly fun,
Yeah,
you know?
and so I came up with that version of it, and I practiced that little run going down there too. I got that kind of worked out.
Sure,
So,
good.
and that's not a song you would hear on the piano every day.
No.
At least not
that's
that version. So.
That's true.
I decided to try to put my own little spin on that, and
Yeah.
I've had time to practice that one, so I'm
Good.
comfortable with that
Good.
one. I just always just start because that first part would be impossible to figure out because it sounds almost what's the word? Like sound effects.
Exactly.
I don't see how I could repeat that, so I just
Right.
it's in this key and I just start with this chord
Sure.
and so on. So that's the closest I can get to it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And some of those songs you have to kind of approximate, like the
Yeah.
time tunnel
Oh,
we were
right,
talking
right,
about.
right.
There's no way you could do some of those
No.
rhythmic things that I could
Well,
see.
they've got a full orchestra, you know, and
Yeah,
just
and
one
stuff
instrument.
like that,
so,
right, so.
yeah. It makes a little bit of a difference.
That's it. So, anyway,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad I got to do that Lost in Space since we're,
Absolutely.
what a beautiful
I
backdrop.
know. I wish space travel was possible now. When I first saw the movie 2001.
Oh,
Space
yeah.
Odyssey, I wanted to go to the Lunar Hilton. I mean,
Mhm.
they had it so believable.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought, oh, this would be wonderful. You know.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it goes, something like
Yeah.
that. I could probably figure it out, my
That's
version
a
of
tough
it
one
too.
too.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to do that.
Definitely.
And I'm just gonna try to figure out some more fun stuff that you just don't hear. That's not a song you would hear every day
No.
too. So
No.
I don't even think there's any piano sheet music to that song.
Probably not Sarah Fisher. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just. Well, you know, a lot of piano players have their own versions of songs. Roger Williams did that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like his version of Flight of the Bumblebee, I don't
Oh,
think there
right,
was any sheet
right.
music to that. I think that was
Right.
something he created.
Right. Speaking of that, who did Bumblebee Boogie?
Jack Fina,
Oh.
originally. It went something like this. I'll do it slow.
Mm-hmm.
Something like this.
I've heard
It was Jack Fina with
Oh,
Freddie Martin's
okay.
orchestra,
Ah.
1946.
Okay.
And it was something like this. I'll do it very slow.
Mhm.
Slow down. Try it again. Something like this. I haven't had time to practice, but it's something like that.
Yeah,
It just takes off, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he played the heck out of that.
Yeah.
It was really something.
Yeah, so, but that was 1946, Freddie Martin's
Ah.
orchestra. And it was cool because the orchestra was doing their little thing while he's
Yeah.
up there lightning
Yeah,
fast
I
on that
know.
song.
I know.
Yeah, oh man. But I think that was his version.
Uh-huh.
The point I was making is I think a lot of these piano players, there's no sheet music to that stuff. I
Right.
think they just create these.
Sure.
And then they just entertain audiences with it.
Mhm.
I think Liberace did it, I think Roger Williams did it, I think Jack Fina,
Mhm.
and all those other popular piano players. I think they all did that. And that was fun.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I always make you think, I wonder if there's sheet music. So everybody's always looking for sheet music. Nobody ever has it.
Really, really.
No, I don't think there's any sheet music to that Flight of the Bumblebee that Roger
No.
Williams created. I think that was his own.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool about that is when an artist can take a song and make it theirs,
I know.
that nobody else
I
plays.
know, yeah.
And then when you try to figure it out, you're like, yeah, nah, forget it.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen, no. Or you just kind of fake your way through. It's not
Right.
the same.
It's not. It's not because it's theirs.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
And if you just find something that's yours and, you know.
I think that's what makes it work is when you
Yeah.
can take a song that you don't hear every day. So, this is fun though. Those guys were so fun
Yeah.
to watch.
So creative,
Yeah.
you know.
I would imagine it took a considerable amount of practice too to create those songs and
Definitely.
make them sound effortless.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I saw Roger Williams on the Hollywood Parade, I think they call it.
Mhm.
It was that old television show in
Mhm.
the past. Rerun, obviously.
Mhm.
And he was playing that.
Oh.
And he played it all the way through.
Oh,
And then
wow.
they took that version, they put it in one of those cartoons.
Oh, yeah?
It was some cartoon about a bee that was trying to get some honey out of a flower, and he was
Huh.
having trouble with it, and they put that music in the soundtrack.
Funny.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
So anyway, that's just cool that people can like create their own. And Roger Williams was known for, you ever notice when he take his two fingers,
Mhm.
the two-finger technique?
Mm-hmm.
I think those passages on certain songs work because it has a distinctive sound
Mm-hmm.
that if you do traditional classical finger and it
Right,
won't
it wouldn't
work.
sound the same.
It wouldn't
Wouldn't be
sound the
sharp.
same. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a really distinctive sound
Mhm.
when you take your two fingers. It's like when you do that, you know, the conclusion of the nocturne, that one in E flat,
Mhm.
and it has a part that goes like this, something like this,
Mhm.
something like this.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then this part here, well, I think it's up here. You know, when you do that little,
Mhm.
with the that's not very clean, but it gives you an idea.
Right.
The two fingers. I saw Liberace do it that way.
Ah.
The concert pianists, they take their hand, they do a little roll
Yeah,
like,
they do.
and it doesn't have that distinctive sound like when you're
Right.
taking your fingers. Something
Mhm.
like that. Of course, when you do it a lot faster, it has that, almost like a hammer or something
Mhm.
striking.
Yeah.
It's the way to
Yeah,
describe
it's more
that.
distinctive.
Yeah, there's a distinctive sound when you take your fingers and do that.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to work that out yet, but
Mhm.
I've noticed certain popular piano players tend to do it that way. And the classical was, it's some
Oh,
sort of a
yeah.
trick with their fingers.
Well, I think with them too, it's about classical technique.
Yeah, I
As well
understand
as
that.
the actual playing. You know, you have to have your hands a certain way and you know.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound distinctive, it's like really smushed together,
Oh, yeah.
smooth, like is the way to describe it,
Uh-huh.
instead of distinctive
Yeah.
staccato or whatever they call
Right,
it.
right.
So
Huh.
I like it better with that distinctive sound, it's just
Yeah.
at the end of that.
Mhm.
So anyway, I've got my work cut out for me this year, because by the end of this year, I want to have all that down, those nocturnes. There are a couple that I wanted to do, like the waltz in B minor, it goes like this.
Oh.
I'm working on a little bit.
Mhm.
Now, I'm just doing it plain right now until I get
Right,
comfortable, and then I'll express it,
Right.
speed it up, slow it down,
I
whatever.
choreographed a dance to that too.
Did you? Yeah, that's
Last
called
year.
that is the waltz in B minor.
Yeah.
I might do something like this for, and then go into it. I'll figure it out.
Mhm.
I haven't decided how fast I want to play it yet.
Mhm.
I'm still learning it right now. Yeah, pretty.
It is pretty. That's why I used it. I took a Degas painting of the ballet class and had my girls dressed in the exact same costumes that they were in the painting.
Mm-hmm.
And then had them positioned exactly as they were
Yeah.
in the painting at the bar. And then as the music started, they started doing their dances and
Yeah, that would see that's the kind of stuff I want to perfect this year. I've been
Mhm.
spending this year so far working on those kind of melodies, and of course the one that I'm comfortable with, the Prelude in E minor.
Mhm.
I won't do the whole thing; it'd take too long.
Mhm.
I've been working on this too. Isn't that pretty?
It's beautiful.
I'm gonna stop right there, and then like that part that goes
Mhm.
So it's just
There's
such
a lot of feeling in that.
yeah, there is.
That's what I love about Chopin, there's so much emotion.
Yeah, and I think those waltzes and those nocturnes, you know, that's the kind of Chopin stuff I'd like to get into. It's just
Oh,
so
yeah.
romantic. You
It
can
is,
express
beautiful. It's
yourself.
so much, that's why it's so easy to dance to, is because you can express the emotion through the movement.
Mm-hmm. So, and there's some other, I've got a list at home, I don't have it memorized yet, just those kind of songs I want to work on this year, which I've been working on.
Good.
And I'm still working on that Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy
Oh,
and stuff too.
yes. How many times have I danced that?
See, I'm working on all of those.
Yeah.
And by the end of this year, when time goes to play them all, I want to just start playing those and mixing them up.
There you go. You
and
know
all
that
that.
dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, it's only about a minute and a half long, 2 minutes long maybe. It's one of the most difficult ballet dances.
It looks like it from when you were telling me about that
Oh,
lady,
my God.
what's the name,
Kelsey
Kirsty?
Kirkland?
Yeah, Kirkland.
Yeah.
I noticed her foot, every time they got to that part, dee 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 dee,
Yeah.
I noticed her foot was,
Yeah.
and I
it's-
never noticed that
Yeah, it's
before.
called a batu, when you beat your foot around your ankle and. You know.
I bet that doesn't feel very
It's
good at
just-
all.
Well, it's just part of the dance, but it's really difficult. It's often used as a competition dance when they're doing the
Really?
competitions in Asia, Europe and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it is so difficult. That one and Don Quixote is another one that they do in competition.
Oh,
When
I see,
they're
yeah.
applying for scholarships or to get into a company.
So they usually do those ones, because those are the more intricate
Yeah,
ones,
they
huh?
are, they are difficult. Don Quixote especially, because there's some hopping on your toes that you have to do.
Yikes! I can feel that. I'm not even dancing. I can feel that when you
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, it's called pas de cheval. You hop and kind of paw the ground like a horse does. A cheval is a horse in France.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool,
So-
cool. Well, let's see. I'm gonna sign out here. Take a break. You want to
Okay.
talk some more on another segment, or do you have to leave?
I've got to go.
Okay, well that's fine. I guess Emma's not coming today.
Okay.
Well, I'll just sign out. This was fun having this Valentine show,
Sure.
being in outer space.
Absolutely.
I'll make you a copy of this and I'll send it to you later on today.
Sure.
It'll be waiting for you by the time you get home tonight.
No problem.
You start, oh, that's right, you have to be at work at 2, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
about
past 12
12:30,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm going to go and grab a bite before I go to work.
that's good. Well, let me sign out.
All right.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out. And again, we have the lovely Louise Bundy. She was my guest on this Valentine Outer Space Asaph Cafe. I guess that's the way to put it,
That's
right?
way to put it.
Any final words you want to say?
Just hope everyone had a wonderful, romantic Valentine's Day.
Aw,
And we'll
yeah.
see you next time.
And on that note, Maranatha. And I always freeze there. Well, make yourself at home. Let me shut everything down and then
Okay.
take it apart.
That was